This is the June 27th, 2016 Board of Education meeting for the school district of the city of Dearborn. We're ready to proceed, so Dr. Mead, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Miriam Bazzi.
Present.
Trustee Joseph Guido.
Here.
Trustee Fadwa Hamoud.
Here.
Trustee Roxanne McDonald.
Here.
Trustee Michael Mead here. Trustee Mary Petlichkoff.
Here.
And President Lane.
Here. Next item.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good.
Did we give you a certificate?
Next item.
Item 2, Superintendent's Update. Agenda items.
So before we get to agenda items, I would just like to take a moment to mention Representative Julie Plawicki passed away over the weekend. She does represent our district in the River Oaks area, and it was a tragedy. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to her family during this difficult time. So if we could just observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. So for agenda items, I just wanted to announce a couple of retirements. We always have a long list. Today is not as long of a list, but we, again, are always appreciative of our retirees and their dedication to the district. So we have Feda Belbasi Siam, 17 years of service. We have Michelle Damaris, 30 years of service. And we have Ruth Morel, 20 years of service. So again, we want to thank them for their years of service and to our students, and we congratulate them on their retirement.
It's awesome that we have people retiring after 30, 20, 30, 40 years. That says a lot about us as an employer. Dr. Mead, go ahead.
B, non-agenda items.
So I'd first like to call up, we have from the library, Rebecca Herman, and she's going to address the board and our audience and discuss some of the programs that are being offered this summer. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Maleko. Thank you, board, for giving me this opportunity to talk with you this evening. I am Rebecca Herman. I'm the head of youth services for the Dearborn Public Library. And as you well know, school doesn't really stop when school lets out in June. Children learn all through the year. And coming to the library during the summer is a great way to continue their education through the summer months, because we all know that without continuing to read, without continuing to do work on your school, when they come back in the fall, they find themselves having forgotten a large amount of what they've been taught during the school year. So we do have a number of programs at the Dearborn Public Library. Our theme this summer actually kind of combines both working out your body as well as working out your mind. Our theme is ready, set, on your mark, get set, read. So we're working on both your mind and your body. And to do that, along those ways, besides our regular where we want kids to read and we give them prizes for reading, we do also have activities to stimulate their minds throughout the week. At the Henry Ford Centennial Library on Michigan Avenue, we pretty much have a program geared towards children every day that we're open during the week. We have some special activities on Mondays. Just this afternoon, we actually had the wrestler Rhino come by and visit us. And we had a wrestling program, which a lot of the kids are really into, and they enjoyed that a lot. On Tuesdays, every week, we're doing yoga in the morning. So kids can sign up and do a very short, easy yoga class. As well as craft activities at the branches in the afternoon, and crafts on Wednesdays, and story times for various ages on Thursdays and Fridays. As for the reading, we do have programs that start with actually our youngest patrons. It's never too early to start working with your kids on their reading. The early literacy activities, the simple act of talking with your children, playing with your children, singing songs with them, doing writing activities that you may not, that a lot of parents don't think is writing, just giving them pencils and crayons to draw with, all work towards building those skills that the children need when they come into school. So we start with the earliest readers, the earliest non-readers, and we have a program for them. That's the Read to Me program, where the parents do these really early literacy activities, and they can come back and get a free book. Every child that completes at least half of our program over the course of the summer gets a free book to take home with them, which helps build their libraries, because we also know that having books in the home is so important to build those reading skills. Our readers that are going into the first grade through going into the sixth grade, 20 minutes a day, just like they've been doing all school year, gives them a chance to get a free book and get a really great pack of going back to school prizes. We've got a going back to school kit with a backpack and pencils and pencil sharpeners, which are really great. Our teens too, an hour a week, and they can earn a free book halfway through the summer and finish up at the end. And all of you sitting here, you're not left out of the summer reading program either. We have great programs for adults. Besides being able to exercise your reading, which you can do online through our website, which is dearbornlibraries.org. You can also come in. We have some programs on brain exercises that are coming up. We have some Tai Chi classes, and we have available for all of you continuing education classes through Gale Courses, which is a great way to get some free learning. Besides test prep starting with high schoolers, we have things if you're trying to learn how to build web pages, if you're looking to improve your writing skills. There's even classes on grant writing, if you're interested in taking those. And I do have my some flyers available in the room for both the adult reading program, which will tell you all about what I just said for that, and all of our activities for the children's reading program. And I thank you so much, and I hope to see you and all your kids at the library this summer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I hope to see the students out there this summer. So I have one other announcement on non-agenda items. I wanted to just mention it's on our website, but the Howell property at 18000 Oakwood is up for bid officially. The bid closes on July 14th. So individuals that are interested would have to get a submitted bid by then. We do have all the information on how you would complete the bid online on the district homepage.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Citizens' participation, there are no blue cards.
Okay.
So do we go to agenda items for action?
Approval of minutes.
We go to that, okay. So item 4, approval of minutes. A, approval of minutes for the following Dearborn Board of Education meeting. Regular P through 12 meeting, June 13th, 2016. Board Report 15-129. Recommended action. Make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Did anyone find any corrections in there, or are they practically perfect? Any? Can we accept them unanimously?
Yes, please.
All right, we will.
Item 5, recognition and acknowledgement. A, commendations.
We don't have any students, so you're stuck with me.
You were very excited.
Practically a student.
She was so excited
I
this
put my
morning.
reading glasses on. All right, district accommodations to Chris Kennyberg and the team in the Informational Technology Department for their efforts in creating one of the most used plugins for Moodle. Out of 1,200 different plugins used worldwide, the Dearborn Public Schools theme, called Pioneer, is one of the most popular and most downloaded plugins, coming in at number 18. It's 18 worldwide. Moodle is open source online software that teachers in the district use to create their iLearn courses. A plugin is kind of like a template that can be used to create that course. Coming in at number 18 means that thousands of Moodle users worldwide are using a plugin created by one of our very own staff members right here in Dearborn. DCMST, Dearborn Center for Math, Science, and Technology. Accommodations to 8th grade students who attended the DCMST and were awarded honorable mention this spring at the Explorer Vision STEM competition sponsored by Toshiba. The Dearborn students were competing against thousands of students from across the United States and Canada. The Explorer Vision competition engages the next generation in real-world problem solving, going beyond the typical student science competition and into what it takes to bring ideas to reality. The students were challenged to envision and communicate about new technology that is likely to be introduced 20 years in the future. With the guidance and encouragement of technology teacher Wendy Robinson, they collaborated, brainstormed, did research, and made detailed plans for developing their new technology, and then created a website to explain their vision. The prize-winning invention for the future, submitted by DCMST students Evelyn Schobert, Amin Al-Jabri, and Anthony Al-Aziz, is called VCure Flex. The other prize-winning invention, titled eSpecs, was developed by Yasmin Berry, Jafer Harb, Miriam O'Day, and Alexis Brown. Congratulations to all of the outstanding DCMST students who participated in this competition. Dearborn High School. Commendations to 3 Dearborn High School students who won Emmy Awards this spring in the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Michigan Student Competition. Madison Murdoch and Anthony Shrugablin won an Emmy in the directing category. Mohammed Maklid won in the categories of cinematography and public service announcement. Congratulations to all of the Dearborn High School students who were nominated to receive awards in 8 different Emmy Award categories this year. Commendations to the Dearborn High boys golf team in winning the MHSAA Boys Golf District Tournament this spring at the Dearborn Country Club. Their score of 333 for the day bested a field of 13 teams. The team members are Kyle Swider, Chris Schunkweiler, Jimmy Monteith, Jack Kearns, and Aaron May, and the coaches are Howard Inch and Kevin Barkov. Jack Kearns, who shot a 77, was the silver medalist in the individual competition. The Pioneers advanced to the regional round of competition at Pineview Golf Course in Ypsilanti. McCullough Eunice. Commendations to the students and staff at McCullough Eunice on being named the Autism Awareness School of the Year for 2016. The founders of the Dearborn-based nonprofit organization Blue Hands United for Autism visited McCullough Eunice to accept the school's donation of $2,315. During the visit, they surprised the students and staff by presenting a trophy that will be displayed in the school's showcase this fall. That's it.
Thank you.
B.
Can I have one? Sorry about that. I'm interrupting, but can I add one commendation, which Mr. Peterson didn't have, but I believe he's here, and I want to congratulate Dr. Don Ball, who successfully defended his dissertation. Congratulations. We know the amount of work that goes into that, and congratulations. Wish you all the best moving forward, Don. Dr. Ball.
Item B, Teacher of the Year Awards.
So we want to recognize Teachers of the Year that were from the Alberta Muirhead Award that's sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. It's the 19th annual, actually. I was at the ceremony. I know we had other trustees that were there. It was a great display. We had over 2,500 nominations for 453 teachers. My understanding is that's gone up, and the teachers that did, it was very heartwarming and emotional when they came up, and whether they won the awards or they were just nominated, it was a great thing. So congratulations, I would say, to all our nominees and all our great teachers. So, and I'm not sure if they're all here right now, but I just wanted to recognize, and if they are here, please come up to the podium. We have May Mukdad. I know that she wasn't able to make it, but we have Mary Puente, April Kincaid, and Margarita Chavez Franco. I'm not sure if they're here. Doesn't look like they are. But congratulations.
Vacation,
yes, it is
vacation.
summertime. So for the next, and that's it. So congratulations to the
To the
Okay.
Teacher of the
to the Teacher of the Year awards.
C, Impact Awards.
See, I was trying to jump the agenda item without him announcing. Mike, Dr. Mead did that a couple of times.
We have to keep you on track.
I'm excited to announce these great employees. So the other one we have is we want to recognize all employees in the district, and so we have this Impact Award that we do partner with the Education Foundation, and we give the award on the Green Tie Night. I know we have Mr. Eddie Fakori here, who was at that event, running the event, and so I know that we have some of them here, and I want to mention their names, and if they are here, please come up to the podium. But again, this is non-teaching positions. These are support positions, and we're glad to recognize we have Ms. Zainab Ali, Community Liaison at Fordson. We have Ms. Troy Amon from Howard Elementary. We have Miss Margaret King Achman. I believe I saw her come in. Yeah, come on up to the podium. Congratulations. And we also have Kevin Liskis, from engineer at Lindbergh. So if you wanted to make a few comments. I just wanted to recognize you and congratulate you, and I know that you were recognized on the night, and I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to add or
Just very thankful and grateful
Okay.
for the nominations and the awards. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd like to say that I really appreciate that. I mean, we've had Teacher of the Year awards for a long time, but it takes a village takes a city, actually. It actually takes two cities, doesn't it, to run the school district, since we have Dearborn Hearts also. So I just think it's really great because all of the staff interacts with students during the day, after school sometimes, and a kind word from a staff member can really make somebody's day. So I really appreciate that we're recognizing all of our staff and their contributions. So congratulations on the award. It's really...
Thank you all so much for what you do as well. I do the parent education in the district and the teacher talk in the district. And if it wasn't for all of you supporting those efforts, a lot of the parents would still be struggling. So thank you, and please continue to support us because it does make a difference for kids. And we do. We make a difference. Every one of us here, everybody in the district, just like Dr. Malika was saying, contribute to the overall well-being. And so always know we can make a difference. Thank you so much.
If I can also mention, there were over 100 nominees, so I want to congratulate the nominees and those that were recognized. And the other neat thing that I saw, as you know, I'm on the blogs and social media, right, Trustee Guido? But it was neat because some of them were getting the certificates, they were taking a picture of it, and then they were tagging me or other employees and just saying thank you. And I was saying in return, thank you, we appreciate your support. So a lot of that was on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. So.
And I'd like to say it's impressive that we're getting so many responses now. In the past, it could have been a little lagging at times, a little thin with what, and so the effort that people are taking, students and others, to recognize the people in their lives is heartwarming, and I think it's important because everybody needs to have that pat on the back to motivate them to continue on, and especially these days.
Do I dare? Okay.
Yes, go ahead. You're cleared.
Amicus Scholarship.
So we have Mr. Mara, if you would like to come up for the scholarship presentation. And he's got some representatives.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for allowing us to be in your presence this evening. And I'd like to introduce members of our club, the Amicus Club: John McDonald, Bill Fridge, Victor Martin. And I think there's a gentleman over here who's part of our association.
Yes, I joined.
I forget his name, but
It'll come to you.
From 104. And at this time, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Victor Martin.
We have a few scholarships we'd like to present. The first one here is for Mr. Rashid Abdullah, who's going to attend the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. We have a $500 scholarship.
Mr. Abdullah is the valedictorian, isn't he? Do I recognize him?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Congratulations. We have a second one here for Miriam Mackey, who's going to be attending Michigan State University, an amount of $500. Congratulations. We have a third one for Zara Hamoud. Am I pronouncing that right? Zara Hamoud. For $500, who will be attending the University of Detroit Mercy. I don't think she is here.
I'll take it.
Who can we give this check to? Yeah, good point. Here it goes. Mr. Meyer is not going to be attending.
Maybe Mr. Guido would like to.
Give it to me.
Well, the monies will be sorely needed, and your support of higher education and your support of our students is what keeps us all going. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
E, acknowledgement of donations.
Okay, so we have a donation of $700 that's been offered to Becker Elementary by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for interactive digital resources. A donation of $500 has been offered to Bryant Middle School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for plants in the classroom. A donation of $100 has been offered to Henry Ford Elementary School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for data notebooks. A donation of $2,410 has been offered to McCullough Eunice School by the Dearborn Education Foundation to be used for McU bots. A donation of $1,000 has been offered to Fortson High School by Dr. Parvez Khan to be used for instructional materials and buses for field goal trips. A donation of $18,500 has been offered to Oakman Elementary School by Delta Education School Specialty Science to be used for third grade edition K-5 FOSS science modules. We want to thank everyone for their donations. We appreciate the support.
Okay.
Item F, other, Trustee Lane.
Yeah, there is an other tonight. I wanted to read a statement. Last week we met at Henry Ford College. Normally we don't carry over business between the college and the P12. But like tonight, we had a preceding meeting and we didn't finish everything. We were presented with a lot of results from a 360-degree presidential evaluation. So we asked the Michigan Leadership Conference, or Michigan Leadership Institute, who did the survey with our committee, to write up a short statement summarizing the results. So I want to give you that statement right now. So, an analysis of the performance of President Stan E. Jensen was completed by the Michigan Leadership Institute in May and June 2016 based on Dr. Jensen's contract and the work of a trustee subcommittee. 9 different surveys targeted questions to various stakeholder groups associated with Henry Ford College, including the Board of Trustees, college staff members, community members, cabinet members, members of the college faculty, and college administrators, and a small group of randomly selected students. A total of 9 electronic survey instruments included a total of 57 individual questions. 778 responses with comments were anonymously received in response to the survey. Statistical calculations to determine the mean, median, and mode for responses to each individual question were performed and completed by Dr. Michael Wilmot of the MLI. There were some technical difficulties with the survey because the college did not have the license or expertise for the large number of persons to whom the survey was sent. Additionally, some persons who should have been included were not, which the college trustees deeply regret. Overall, the results were that President Jensen's cumulated performance score for all audiences was between met and exceeded, some consistently performed above expectations. So the most frequent response would indicate that the president's performance has been consistently above expectations. The Board of Trustees apologizes to those who were omitted from the survey and would like to thank everyone who did take the time to give thoughtful answers, including the many comments. These will form the basis for future discussions, improvements, and work. So that's from last week.
Special reports. Item 6, Education Foundation. Dr. Glenn Maliko, Mr. Eddie Fakuri.
Good evening, everyone. Happy start to the summer. So thank you so much for having me. I am here to give a quick report on the Education Foundation. We try our best to come up at least once, possibly twice in the school year to give the team a full update on where we were, where we're at, and where we're heading. So I want to thank you for that. I know many of you around the table have taken time throughout the school year to really support us, and that means a lot to us. So thank you. So where we stood really is my approach really will be to kind of give a little bit of background. The Education Foundation, since we are televised, by the way, the Education Foundation has been around since 1992. And I am, and so our board of directors, grateful for those parents that had the foresight to see the need, establish this organization, And since then, we've had a great partnership with the school district, strong impact on our schools and the success of our teachers and students. And in the last, I'd say, 8 years of my involvement, both as a board member as well as its executive director, a wonderful impact. And the partnership is the theme that I'd like to start with. So in the last 4 or 5 years, we've done a lot of work as a group, thanks to our leadership of our Board of Education as well as the Board of Directors of our foundation, to really start developing stronger partners, both in the business community as well as within the district. And in the last 4.5 years, we've seen a great deal of the fruits of that labor. And it has yielded some wonderful results. We are now a foundation, as of last year, that have established a 2-track system. We are now working on event revenue generation, as we've always been, but we are also setting our eyes on the 2nd track of establishing an endowment. And that's what we've been working really hard on in the last 2 years. So in that time, we've been able to not only generate the revenue that we've been, reaching out to our business partners, our individual donors, establishing foundation funds for scholarships, as well as planned gifts, but we've also set the tone for doing what we need to as an organization to start looking beyond next school year. And that establishment of the Vision Fund, which is what we call it, puts us on that path. So I want to say in the last 1.5 years of working towards that, we have really worked hard to establish a system of generating revenues to go towards those towards that fund. This school year, and every school year previous in the last 4, we have been able to establish revenue to still allow us to fund over $100,000 in our grant reports each year. So this year we have about $122,783 that we have reflected on our grant report, of which we were able to establish thousands of dollars towards our scholarship fund, which we announce and give out during our Green Tie Dinner. The Green Tie Dinner has morphed in the last 2 years through, again, yet another partnership with the Board of Education and the school district to allow us to involve the school district to use that as a moment to give their impact awards, but also our time to give our thanks to our community and recognize the success of our students. So I'll start there since we ended our school year there. We did really well with our Green Tie Dinner. We've given out thousands of dollars, as I mentioned. In that time, our grant report, if you go on our website, which will be updated, I think it has been updated as of Friday, possibly by tomorrow morning, the latest, with the most recent numbers. It will also reflect over $50,000 that we've put towards our Vision Fund this year as well. As of our numbers, May 31st, we've generated over $280,000 in revenue to the foundation. Now, again, the Green Tie was our culmination of this school year. It's been a success. Thank you for those that took time to attend. It's a fun event. We try our best to, again, showcase the success of this school district. And in the time that I've been here, both as threefold, right? I'm a resident, a parent, and the executive director. I have 4 kids in the school system. I've always been a champion of the success of this school district. The leadership in the last 5 years, the direction and leadership taken on by Dr. Malenko, supported by the board, is taking us to the next level. I can see it, I can feel it, so do our board of directors. And we want to continually lock arms with you all, because I think that partnership is going to allow for the success of the foundation and allow us to serve our purpose. And now as we move into the next school year, our purpose really is going to be to grow into that second phase. We started this year, so we're on track with our goals of trying to get there. We definitely look to lock arms with you all as a team to get us moving closer towards that goal in the second phase. And why we want to always announce the success is because that's what's going to build up the comfort and confidence within our community. And I think collectively we've done a great job of doing that. So in the year of this past school year, I should say, we not only did the Green Tie Dinner at the end of the year in May, but just before that, we had a very fun event, a successful event, the Mardi Gras annual event celebration, and we raised thousands of dollars that goes towards that grant funding report that we announce every year. Prior to that, we start the school year off, and this school year coming up in October, September 25th, we are going to be holding our annual for Dearborn golf outing. So we ask that you put that on your calendar. We ask to do your best to promote, announce, and encourage folks to participate in any way that they can. And that will be our first kickoff event for the next school year. And that is one of our signature events where we have the ability to lock arms with our city as well as our school district. Dr. Malenko as well as our Mayor O'Reilly come together. They lock arms. They're there all day. They do everything they can to reach out to the community. And we hope that over the summer you can identify and work with our office to help find a pathway to kind of grow this event. So it starts off in September, a lot going on in the start of the school year, we know, but everyone looks forward to that. We've reached that point. And we just encourage everyone and the Board of Trustees to really help us promote that. And that'll help us kind of start the new school year off well. The golf outing, as I mentioned, in September. Those are our three main events. Throughout the year, this past year, we've been working hard to elevate our communication and reach out to individual donors. We've established the chance to have planned gifts come our way in the last 2 years. And that's been, a very, I find it to be extremely successful for our organization. So it says a lot about again, building up of our comfort and confidence within our community. And the more you can do to reach out to us, to share your thoughts and ideas, to give us your feedback, the better we're both going to become in improving our school district and supporting the vision that Dr. Malenko and you all have. So I want to say thank you to our Board of Directors personally, as the Executive Director. This past year, we've decided to handle our vision by establishing a co-chair position of our leadership. So I do want to thank Ali Sayed, and I do want to thank Susan DeBaja to have the time and find the time to kind of lock arms with us and lead us into that next phase. And as we enter this school year, there's a lot on everyone's plate, but they find this close to their heart, and they're making time for it. And we're hoping that we can all stand behind them in their leadership and our Board of Directors. We are also looking for seats to be filled in our board as well. We always try to rejuvenate our board, and we open that out to the community, individuals, corporate leaders, organizational leaders, and of course we always have a seat for our Board of Education trustees. I do have a letter, President Lane, if I can give it to you, from our co-chairs, so that as we enter the new year, we can identify the right partnership on every level and have the right conversations early on before the school year starts. And that letter comes from our co-chairs, so if I can give it to you before I leave, that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Aside from that, if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, I do feel we had a wonderful year again, and it's in large part to the leadership here, the leadership of our board, but more importantly, our community. And I want to thank them for standing behind us.
Trustee Beth.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for what you do. It's a huge service to our teachers. I have a question, though. One question I get, and actually one thing I look into when I'm donating, is how much goes to overhead, how much goes to the cause. Do we have that amount?
Yeah, we try to maintain a 70-30 rule. That's typically a good rule of thumb for nonprofits. We decided 2 years ago that we're going to do what we can to run this organization with a business mind and invest back in by way of establishing our endowment, by way of marketing and operations. So we do have support in our office. We will have the final numbers. We try to offer more audited numbers. That's another thing that we find to be very valuable and important. We made it a point 5 years ago to be as transparent as we possibly can. So up until this past school year, every one of our fiscal years have been audited by a third-party Plant Moran. We also provide our grant report, and we also provide our Form 990s. So a lot of that information can be figured out from those reports. As of this school year, we don't have the final numbers, but we are reinvesting in our organization for its future.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Great.
I'd like to thank Trustee Hammoud for being our representative to the Dearborn Ed Foundation.
And it's, thank you, and it's my pleasure to be there, and
Sure.
and definitely hoping to continue building our relationship,
Sure.
like you said, and lock arms together.
Sure.
And
that's something we're very proud of, and we hope to continue moving forward.
Yeah, we look forward to it, and that letter will address some of the questions that we have about that. So we will, I'll give that to you. But we want to hear from everyone, whether it's as simple as I went to the golf outing, the registration table should be this way, or you know what, I've met so and so in the community that are really interested in education. I would like to have a coffee with you and that individual. Absolutely. So we're doing our best to make ourselves available, and in our office we do have support staff now, so in every way possible we try to make ourselves accessible. So thank you again. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay.
Just one
Dr.
quick
Malika.
comment. I just also want to thank Eddie, Mr. Fakori, the foundation, the chairs, and over the years that I've worked in the school district, my students would benefit directly. And now I'm in a different role because I'm sitting on the board of directors, and so I appreciate the work of the foundation and, in reaching out and partnering with the Board of Education, with Trustee Hamoud joining us, and Mr. Wall, who also attends all the meetings. So thank you to the every month you hear the number of donations that we're giving back to the students in the district, so it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot more beyond the numbers. I mean, students that get field trips and projects that supplies are purchased for. So that's kind of the real heart of it. And without the philanthropy that we have in our community, so we've had so many cuts to education funding that those dollars are really important, and they really support a lot of things in our community. So, look like you understand.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay.
B,
Dr. Mead.
Best Communities for Music Education. Dr. Glenn Maleko, Miss Lisa Meyer.
Good evening. Last week, the Dearborn Schools hosted a World Music Drumming class that is organized by the Hal Leonard Corporation and the World Music Drumming Association. For the past 20 years, this class each year is held in 10 different sites around the country. This year was the first time the class was held in Michigan, and last week we had music teachers from across the Midwest come into Dearborn to attend this class. With the proximity so perfect, many of our own staff also attended. The comments that we heard throughout the week was how fortunate we are in Dearborn to have a staff that works well together, has formed friendships and a safe environment in which to learn and to grow from each other. We are indeed very fortunate to have a school board that values music education and wants to see the students in our district have wonderful experiences through music making. Music colleagues are not the only people that recognize our exceptional music program. The National Association for the Music Merchants has once again recognized Dearborn as one of the best communities for music education in the nation. Some of the criteria that is considered is our highly qualified teachers, the amount of time students are able to spend in a music classroom each week, the variety of music classes offered within our district, the music-based professional development that our teachers attend, the partnerships that we have garnered with other music organizations within our community, such as the Motor City Brass Band, the Dearborn Youth Symphony, the Dearborn Symphony, the Detroit Chamber Winds and Strings, Chamber Music Society of Detroit, Henry Ford College, Friends of the Dearborn Symphony, the Dearborn Community Arts Council, and the Dearborn Community Fund. All of these organizations contribute to educating our students through school assemblies, master classes with our students, classroom clinicians, performances for our students, opportunities for our students to perform at other venues, and other opportunities. I am so pleased and proud to be a part of the Dearborn School team. Congratulations, Dearborn Schools, for being one of the best communities for music education. I'd like to present this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor that we've received many times thanks to your work, and everybody is really proud of it. Trustee Bazey, go ahead.
Music was such a big part of my experience at the Dearborn Public Schools and Fortson. I want to say I spent practically half my day with Mr. B in choir, but I really do appreciate the programs we have and what we invest into our non-math, non-English programs in the city of Dearborn, because we recognize the importance of, all the different types of education out there. And so thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Trustee Guido.
Not to date any of us, but she sang it on the board.
Yeah, let's
when
not
she
even.
was a
I
student.
had to note that, and I probably I was
She
on
let
the
me,
board.
and she let me know it.
I sang at a
First
board.
got
Oh,
on
yes,
the-
yes. It was a cappella. We came during Christmas.
Oh,
And
wow.
Mr. Bambacco is still to this day one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, music is so important for people like art. Yeah, Trustee.
And I remember when I was first on the board in 2008, and we were having all the drastic cuts, and music was one of those outer circle items we were looking at, and we had a lot of the community members come in fighting valiantly to make sure that we didn't decimate the programs, and we understood the importance of the music programs, but also recognized our limitations of resources. But we've still managed to hang in there and regrow the programs again so that we still enjoy them in all of the buildings to some degree or other. And I give that to all of our staff who worked very hard to be creative about how we approached it during the lean times and to make sure that students would be exposed to it because of the importance to them and to the school culture to have some kind of music programs just like the arts and anything else. So I really, the accolades go to the faculty of this community.
Thank you. So true. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Dr. Mead.
Item C, writing in the ASD Center program, Dr. Glenn Maleko, Miss Suzanne Ladich. Excuse me if I mispronounced your name.
Everyone does.
Oh.
It's kind of like my name.
Well, I'll just get in line. What is it?
Laddick.
Laddick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to the board. I had the pleasure last month of having President Lane in my classroom to spend some time with my students. And I had a little bit of a difficult time deciding exactly what I was going to share with you, because encapsulating a whole year in a couple minutes with students that have autism and the amount of growth that I saw in their writing was a daunting task. But it started back in November when I had the pleasure of going to a in-service with Wayne Risa, and a researcher from Central Michigan University presented her writing program for students that receive special ed services. And I thought, good grief, I hope this isn't a big infomercial, which is our worst fear as teachers. But as she began to speak, the stories that she told about what was happening with the students she was working with in a local school district piqued my interest. So I requested that the special ed department purchase her program, and I began implementing it in my classroom. My initial goal was to get my students to write a little bit more production than a sentence or two, with multiple complaints about how many sentences do I need, Mrs. Laddick? Is a paragraph 3 sentences? Is it 5? Well, the first thing I did was start asking the students, who's an author? And the only response that was acceptable to me was, I am. And at first they didn't believe me, but once we defined that an author is somebody that writes anything at all, they began believing in themselves. And that is the heart of where we need to be, is telling our students that we believe in them and giving them the safe environment in order to do that. What shocked me was, as the year went on, did they not only stop complaining, the production increased from 1 sentence or 2 sentences to a page and a half, and it went from very simple sentences to students that were writing nonfiction and serial stories and all kinds of creative things that I did not imagine would ever happen in my room in that amount of time. I'm a little choked up because I'm so proud of them. The other thing that I really couldn't show you is this growth. However, I made copies of 3 writing samples for each student that I'll share with you, and you can look at them when you have a chance. And then Kurt Doley, who is in my building at Dearborn High, filmed my students right before we left school, and I have a DVD of 3 of them reading a piece of the writing that they wrote. So if Eric will run that, we can all enjoy my boys.
Fuzzy times with Miss Laddick. Miss Laddick forgot to eat her lunch. Because of this, he became fuzzy. She gave out strikes and ignored many things. She did drink coffee, however. Miss Laddick calmed down the next day.
Animal Cafe. Germs make me sick. Perfect the pig. Sports pages. Mama don't allow the moon dream eater.
Watching the auction on the first you see, look, when I look outside and aloud. Ew.
Smile.
Can't. I can't.
Thanks, buddy.
The last student was one that would absolutely refuse to read until almost the end of the school year. So that was a huge accomplishment on his part. So thank you for letting me share with you this evening.
And carry on the great work.
Thank you.
Dr. May, do you have a question?
Are all your students autistic?
They are. I am one of the teachers in our ASD center program that we have embedded in the general ed buildings. My classroom's at Dearborn High School, so I have all students that are in our general ed building, but they have autism, and they're working toward certificate of completions rather than high school diplomas.
Okay. So how many students do you have?
I had 5 last year on my caseload. However, my counterpart that works at the Michael Berry building, Susan Rocky, had 7. So altogether, we shared 12 students. Okay. She did the pre-vocational portion of our education, and I worked on more of the academic end, and also allowing them to get out into general ed classrooms and be exposed to classrooms with students that don't have IEPs, which is very, very important also.
So the autism is on a scale.
It is.
So Asperger's at the top, or is that old thinking?
Well, technically we don't use that anymore because the psychologist said we can't. However, I do.
All right,
I do.
So you have these students all on the continuum? Are they from really difficult to process information to have no difficulty, but they're zeroing in on certain topics?
Well, in our district, we have many students that have autism. Some of them don't receive special ed services because they don't need them. You know, they function just fine.
Okay.
We have some students that would receive services from a resource room teacher, and those would be our students that would be getting a high school diploma, and they would be either included in a general ed class with very little support or maybe a lot of co-taught classes. And then we have students that need a lot more support. Maybe they're nonverbal. We have some nonverbal students. Or they're not able to complete the classwork that would be required for a high school diploma. However, everybody can learn, and so we provide that structure to grow them as much as we possibly can to prepare them for life. Because our goal is that we send them out into the world and that they will be able to be productive in some way.
I love your patience.
And they get out, they're in the general community at Dearborn High. I wondered if you were concerned, because I had a letter from a student, Heba, who was recommending a program. I think a couple of us got letters from Mr. Police's class at Dearborn High. But Dearborn High is a big school.
It is a very big school.
So I was concerned, how are the students fitting into the general ed community? How are they navigating the building? Do they have peer mentors or?
Well, we don't really have peer mentor program now. However, that is a discussion item that the ASD program has been having for the last couple of years. And Heba happened to visit my room to find out about what I thought. And it was chance, but kind of on the where we're going. So that's something we're talking about. Right now, what we do is we have a social worker that's assigned to our program, among one of many things that he does. We have a speech and language pathologist that works with our students. I have paraprofessionals that work with me in my classroom. And then I have an ASD coordinator plus an ASD consultant. And so we all work together as a team. And what we do is we look at the individual students and their needs, and we try and make sure that we can get them where they need to go safely and with dignity.
I've noted in the literature a lot that recently colleges are building dormitories for autistic kids and mainstreaming them, but also making sure that they learn the social to become socially active. Are these students that are typically at the higher end of the continuum? Okay, and do you know if any of your students have been approached to go to their college, been recruited?
Well, I have a family member that is at Grand Valley State right now, who is a nationally ranked swimmer, and he is on the spectrum. So I do know that there are success stories with people with autism. When I began working at Dearborn High in the ASD classroom 7 years ago, most of my caseload were students that had been at the Berger Center, and they were earning high school diplomas. And up until last year, every one of my students that I had has gone on to college. Now we've since started exiting those students out and putting them on another special ed teacher's caseload because they do not require the amount of support that they would get in my classroom. Okay. However, as we exit them out there in the building, I still have relationships with them, and I still have students that I've had in the past come to me when they need something or when they want to share something. So they know that we're there. They know that we're safe people. And, you know, we look at them and we get them moving where they need to go so they can be successful.
Fantastic.
But I really have to commend their parents more than us on a lot of that, for sure.
Parents are the first teachers.
They are.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, and thanks for the video.
Thank you.
Item 7, action items. Are there any agenda items on this agenda which board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude these from the motion below.
Okay, anybody want anything? I want to make a comment on number 1 and number 13. But I don't think we have anything that requires a roll call vote. I think we can.
Okay.
So, okay, let's go for all of them at once.
So move that action items numbered 1 through 15 be approved as recommended in this agenda. The 15 is a supplement.
15, okay.
It's a no, it's not a human resources supplement. It's a
business.
Yeah. It's a business services supplement. Orders and purchases from Mr. Thomas Wall, Mr. Jeff Burek, and Mr. Mark Andrews.
Trustee Guido, were you set to motion?
I did.
Okay, you did. Thank you. Support. And who was that? Thank you. Trustee McDonald. Okay. Can I accept all 15 with the supplements and all of it piled together unanimously, or do we have any dissent? No? Okay, let's have the summary. Well, before the summary,
I wanted
to make a comment. I just wanted to note that we have a resolution authorizing borrowing a bank line of credit as number 1. And at first I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, this talks about our cash flow deficits. And my warning bells always go off when I hear deficit. It is a balanced budget, and I just wanted to say that we have a balanced budget. We have a fund. We have a surplus funds, and we will always strive for a balanced budget. And this is to borrow to cover state payments which arrive late during the summer. On number 13,
and that is slowly diminishing in how much we have to borrow.
Right, we are borrowing less and less, and that is the point of us accumulating a budget surplus, because it's just hurts everybody to have to borrow and pay back with interest because we can't make the payments. But we're getting better.
Yes,
we're 6 to 7% of total budget. So when we get at about 10, and Trustee Guido is always vigilant at encouraging us and reminding us we have to try to get to our goal of 10% so that we don't have to borrow during the summer. So I just wanted to make that notation to people. Then number 13 is a layoff of 2 people. And I want to say, I happen to know, at least I know one of the people. Maybe I know 2 of them. I probably met both of them, I believe. I hate to see a layoff. Jobs are so important for all of us. So much of our identity is our job. When somebody's laid off, they don't even know what to do with themselves. And during the Great Recession, people could survive a little bit longer because they got a longer period of unemployment. Now it's 20 weeks in Michigan. So I really hate to see a layoff. We haven't seen a layoff in a while. I will say that when we have laid off in the past, in our worst economic times, several of us would say, how are we doing on calling back our layoffs? So it's my hope that our laid off people, if they're good employees and they want to be back with us, it's my sincere hope that they will be. And that is a great thing about Dearborn being a big district. When we lay off people, we do have openings. So I regret the layoff, and I hope that we won't see very many of them again. We haven't seen them for a while. Trustee Bassi.
And I understand these are non-classified, non-instructional personnel, and they're at-will employees, essentially. I'm just curious, and maybe for the future, I'd like to understand, what is the layoff process for a for an at-will employee? So they kind of, I guess, how do they get chosen? Doesn't have to be today, but because people are coming in and they are at will, and I think people should have an understanding, for the most part, of what may happen, what are the potentials.
Well, I can comment just at the green sheet. We call them green sheet or the at will. A lot of times they're very unique positions. So sometimes the skill set for that position could be a reallocation of funding, or it could be a cut, as in we did get cut by the Title I federal. Although we have a healthy condition with our general fund, the federal funding does supplement that. I can tell you that one of the things we are doing is what President Lane mentioned, is that we have other employment opportunities, and we are encouraging them to apply and or trying to help facilitate that. Some of these budgets, though, are specific because they're under Title I regulations, and then they're really building based. So they're not operated by central office. They're actually by Title I laws. They have to be in the Title I plan for the building, and that's how the positions are funded. So depending on what happens within those buildings, that there may either, at times it could be just because as healthcare goes up and wages and they can no longer afford it, accompanied with a budget, or it could be a reallocation of funding based on the need of students.
I guess my question is, like, for instance, these are both parent-community liaison positions, and I'm sure all the schools have several parent-community liaison positions, and so how does one person get chosen as opposed to somebody else? So that was kind of where my question was directed at.
We will hear more about that. I know it did get down to the point where even we were laying off based on when people had the same seniority based on Social Security number and which one was higher or lower. So I know that there's been a lot of effort to make the process as fair as possible, and it's a painful process to all of us. So.
And we feel badly for anyone that gets laid off. You are right, though. We have, because of our changes in some of our budget procedure and because of some of our layoff and recall policies, we have drastically eliminated. As you've seen, we do not have teacher. In years past, we used to have a list, and then we'd get called back. But some of that is because of how we've changed our operational. State law changed. We created efficient policies and procedures on layoff and recall that were approved by the Board of Education in 2013. That has, eliminated. And it's been, as we've been fiscally responsible with our budget, we've been able to maintain still good class size and protect the classroom. So, but we can happy to get you information on that selection.
Thank you.
Okay.
At this time, the Secretary will read a summary of the action items that were just approved. Number 1, approval of a bank line of credit for 2016 to 2017. Number 2, Approval of contract with Clark Construction Company per Board Report 15-131. Number 3, approval of contract with A-Land Construction for cement. Items 4 through 7, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P through 12. Number 9.
8.
Is that 8? Then what's the next one? Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 15 I have to read separately. Okay.
Here.
You got it? Thanks. So number 8, approval of the school district membership in the Michigan High School Athletic Association Incorporated. Number 9, approval of the extension of the non-classified / non-instructional staff contract. Number 10, approval of the second revision of the 2015-2016 general fund budget. Number 11, approval of the 2016-2017 general fund / debt retirement fund / food service / capital fund / adult education fund budgets. Number 12, approval of layoff of P through 12 non-classified / non-instructional personnel. Number 13, approval of donations. Number 14, approval of contract with RKA Petroleum. And number 15, orders and purchases.
Dr. Mead, I know, and I wondered
Right, the
why
confusion.
you didn't correspond with the screen, and I see that we must have updated the numbers. So there was a number 8 that was skipped.
All right,
That was an important number 8.
He's going to read that right.
Number 8, appointment of Director of School Improvement and Leadership Coaching.
Yeah, she must have been sitting back there sweating.
Yeah.
She is here.
Sorry about that.
She really started to get nervous.
Thank you. So I want to call up Ms. Fatmi Faraj. She just has been appointed. Congratulations as the new Director of School Improvement and Leadership.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good thing you didn't change your mind.
You were still here.
I apologize.
No, it wasn't you. It was, I could
It
see it
was-
on
it
the
was
screen,
just
and the number here was
I
off,
did see
so-
it, though.
Misprint. Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to thank the board, Dr. Maleko, for your trust in me in taking the appointment of this important position in the district. I know that school improvement and leadership coaching, these are 2 areas that have been my passion ever since I started my career in education as a teacher, a coach, interventionist, assistant principal. I've always been heavily engaged in these areas, so I'm very glad to finally get a job and I have enjoyed every job I have held in the past and embedded these in my practice. But I'm very excited about this opportunity because I get to have a broader influence within my practice at the district level. And thank you for your support. Thank you, Dr. Maleko. I want to give a special thanks to the Maples community. And when I say that, I mean parents, students, and teachers, because they were a model community for implementing a school improvement process that received state recognition. And I say they and I, we've been recognized many times based on taking actions towards the ambitions and the long-term goals of the school improvement process. So I feel that we've done wonderful things at Maples and before that at Lowry School. I was involved in the district improvement process, the first one in 2006, and the later one, the most recent one that we had last month. So these are areas of my passion. I also want to thank my husband and my kids are in the back for their support. I want to thank my mom and dad for always pushing me to my limits with school and even now when I apply for something. And I want to thank everyone. I look forward to work with you, Dr. Maleko, and the cabinet, and can't wait. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
You know, I really have to say that when it comes to leadership, your reputation precedes you. And I had an opportunity with Trustee Petchkoff to go to Maple School, and I know that that community is going to miss her, but she's still working for the same team. And I have never seen a principal with so many fans. I mean, students, parents, there were a lot of parents at the school that day, were just praising her, and you can tell that she truly is a leader in what she does, and I'm very glad that she was chosen for this position. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Like, it takes a town, not only a village, and it took the entire community to achieve that. Thank you. And of course, the help of the central office staff, the directors, the superintendent, and the board. Thank you very much, everyone.
Lots of work ahead.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Item 8,
Ready? Yes.
discussion item? None. Oh, it says none. Item 9, Board of Education business. A, acknowledgement of correspondence.
Well, I had a correspondence from a student, and I will be writing her back. I need letterhead. I will start writing it. It's those are from Mrs. Laddock's class. She's passing those around.
Let's spread them out.
And that's the only correspondence that I have. We have. I don't even think we've had many emails recently. It's kind of quiet since school is out. Unless anybody else has had any other correspondence.
Call the other.
I recently just got an email from a retired teacher, actually, with an article that I'll pass to all of you as well about writing and handwriting as opposed to keyboarding skills. And I know we got a different one as well, but this was a separate one, and hopefully I'll forward you that article, and then we can discuss it at a later time.
Okay.
And I believe we did have conversation about that a while back too, briefly. So I was kind of surprised by the email. So we do need to have a fuller explanation about
cursive writing.
Yeah, cursive writing.
And just, I believe, writing in general, handwriting.
Keyboarding, everything. She kind of had it all in there. So I guess we need to understand what's going on a little better than what we heard.
Right.
Good. Okay, we'll put it on a future agenda. Dr. Reed?
B, board member committee and organization reports.
No, nothing.
Okay, C, board member / superintendent commentary.
Anybody want to comment? I was totally impressed with the notation at the last meeting of Fordson's Interact Club going to visit. I know they visited McCullough Eunice, maybe some other schools too, in their graduation gowns. I just think that's awesome, and I think Edsel and Dearborn need to do that. When my son saw the jazz group from Edsel play at the snow school picnic, he was just like, I want to do that. And you know, elementary kids just really
look up to all those examples. So I think that not just the graduates, but any opportunities to show the younger students what's out there as they move forward and what they should set their sights on would be an important way to engage all the feeder schools.
But you don't get too much more dramatic than the black graduation gown, and that should be a goal for every child in Dearborn. It's our goal. Trustee Hammoud.
This was the first year that I got to participate in the commencement graduation ceremonies, and I have to say that it was probably, I mean, one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had on the board, especially being there with all of you and seeing the students and, of course, you, Dr. Maleko, and the parents, and it put things in perspective and why we do what we do. So congratulations to all of the students and all of their families. It truly was a rewarding experience, and I was very humbled to be a part of it.
They were great.
I just want to add, as President Lane always says, it's the best time of year, and it really does show us what we're all working for, and to be able to shake all of the graduates' hands just always warms my heart. And you can feel the pride throughout the entire city.
And we even had Mr. Wall give the diploma to his daughter.
Absolutely.
Which was really sweet.
A lot of special moments.
Yeah, you don't get that all the time.
Moments.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing I just want to wish everybody a happy summer. I appreciate the library coming on no notice whatsoever, basically, and reiterating the importance of kids continuing to keep their learning up. So I'd like to wish everybody a happy summer. We will not have a college meeting in July. That's one other thing to note, which will be coming up, and Dr. Mead will read that in a minute. But I think somebody else was going to make a comment.
Yeah,
Dr. Maleko?
I just wanted to also, again, a great time of year with the graduations. Again, I reiterate everything you said, really special time. I also wanted to let the public know that if they are coming to ASC, I have mentioned, we have construction, but the superintendent's office is not in our normal location. We're at room 25. There are signs, so when you come in, we are here, we are working, we're just not in our normal office.
I took a visit there the other day, as a matter of fact.
So
It's a little cozy.
Yeah, so. Thank you.
Before Dr. Mead, before we move on to requests for information, we forgot, Dr. Maleko remembers that we need a motion for an expulsion. Prior to this meeting, we had an expulsion hearing. Yeah. And so I would like to motion, this will require a roll call vote, so I would like to motion that we proceed to expel a Dearborn High student. I guess that's it.
I second.
Okay.
Somebody moved?
Yeah, I moved.
You moved. Second?
Trustee Bazey seconded. So Secretary Dr. Mead, will you read a roll call for yes, no vote?
Trustee Miriam Bazey.
Yes.
Trustee Joseph Guido.
Yes.
Trustee Fadwa Hamoud.
Yes.
Trustee Roxanne McDonald.
Yes.
Trustee Michael Mead. Yes. Trustee Mary Petlichkoff.
Yes.
President Lane.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so now we can proceed on to requests.
Requests for information and or future agenda items.
Trustee Petlichkoff.
Hopefully in August, can we have and I know we normally do, this isn't untypical, but I wanted to include something in it, do a presentation on the summer programs that we will have going on and the successes that they had. And I'd like to include in it, I didn't even realize that the STAND program is still going on for 6 weeks, and we haven't had a presentation from them in a while. So any of those school-related programs that are being operated during the summer, I'd like to have a summary of maybe in August before school starts, because then we have all the startup of school programs happening in September.
Trustee Bazey.
A couple things, actually. I do know my kids have some programs at their school that they're going to be going to. I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and actually they're taking advantage of the library as well. I think it's kind of nice. There are free activities out there that parents can take their kids to, that you get them out of the house and they're indoors. It's hot outside, and so I think it's great that we have those services in our city and at our schools. One other thing I wanted to bring up, I did mention it to Dr. Maleko when we met, and I went to bring it to the board. I asked for a report on the diversity of the staff in our district, and he indicated he would get that to the board, but I wanted to bring it to the board's attention that I requested that as well.
So I'd like to bring up to the board, not to Dr. Maleko, but we will need to set a meeting for final review for the comments for Dr. Jensen's evaluation. So that'll be a closed personnel meeting. We did talk about setting that prior to the college meeting on August 15th. Shall we set that meeting at 6 or 6:30? What's your pleasure?
6 o'clock probably makes more
Yeah,
sense.
let's make sure we give it
Okay,
enough
so
time.
Dr. Mead, would you insert that one then?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we will let Kathy Demetrio know.
Okay.
And Dr.
Do we
Jensen.
have to have a
We will need a roll
call?
I think we do.
For a closed
session?
For a closed
we have to
session, we
have-
need to post it. more than 24 hours 48 hours in advance.
I think we're supposed to have a roll call.
All right, so since we're here, we're all together, let's
Yeah,
do
I was
it.
gonna
I
say do it, it
motion
doesn't
that we
hurt.
have a closed meeting for personnel
August
on August 15th at 6 o'clock at the President's Conference Room at Henry Ford College.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Let's have a roll call.
Okay.
Back to the first page again.
Trustee Miriam Bazzi.
Yes.
Trustee Joseph Guido.
Yes.
Trustee Fadwa Hammoud.
Yes.
Trustee Roxanne McDonald.
Yes.
Trustee Michael Mead, yes. Trustee Mary Petlicoff.
Yes.
President Lane.
Yes, motion unanimously carries. Okay, any other requests for information or any other motions that we've missed?
A lot of add-ons.
Okay, yes.
Future meeting dates.
All right, here we go.
A, Monday, July 11th, 2016, P through 12 Board of Education meeting, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. B, Monday, August 16th, 2016, HFC meeting, 6 o'clock p.m. Do I say closed session?
Yeah.
Closed session and the regular college session at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Andrew Mazzara Services and Conference Center in the Rosenau Boardroom, Henry Ford College. C, Monday, August 22nd, 2016, P through 12 Board of Education meeting, 7 o'clock p.m. at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
Okay, we are now adjourned.